My name is Fortunatus Onuh. I am a historian and I've been involved in the teaching of history for the past 16 years. In this presentation, we are going to look at the Akassa Raid. The Akassa Raid. The Akassa Raid was one of the earliest reactions, or one of the reactions of the people living in the area known today as Nigeria against the activities of the British and also the activities supported by the British. Well, whether the support was direct or indirect is what we are going to analyze. And Akassa happened to be a territory in the present-day Bayelsa state of Nigeria. In this presentation, we are going to look at Akassa also brass. As we proceed, you understand it more. At a time in the history of this area, precisely the southern part, the British companies established trading posts within that area with the intention of the Europeans to take over territories in Africa. The British companies started struggling and hustling for territories in order to establish their businesses. Having determined the flowing pattern of the river Niger, which ended up in the Niger Delta area, British companies established trading posts within the southern area of what is known today as Nigeria. Well, other European nations, the French, the German, were as well interested in this territory, on this region. This made the British companies to start realizing or going into agreement with some leaders or rulers of some territories, kingdoms, empires, communities in the area that later became Nigeria. During the 1884 to 1885 Berlin Conference, it was the treaties acquired by British companies in this region that helped the British, or that helped Britain, to secure the area that later became Nigeria. Well, a particular British soldier, which was as well a businessman, played very important role towards securing all these treaties. The man's name was Captain George Tabman Goder. Captain George Tabman Goder. He was a British soldier and also a merchant. With his activities, he was able to secure a whole lot of treaties. Now, having been able to secure all these treaties and giving them to the British used those treaties to secure this area that later became Nigeria. Now, after securing this area, the Tamangoder encouraged all British companies to come together. He encouraged all British companies to come together in order to present a united trading company. Some of the British companies or British firms that joined Goder's union after series of persuasion were West African Company. The next one was Messrs. Miller Brothers and Co. Then the next was the Central African Trading Company. As well, James Pinnock and Co. These were the British companies that came together. With their formation, after coming together by 1879, they named themselves the National African Company. With this union, Tamangoder and other British traders approached the British and sought for permission for them to control the area that Britain acquired in the Berlin Conference. However, the Berlin Conference was actually, for some that don't know, was actually a conference where Europeans shared Africa. They call it partitioning of Africa in history. After scrambling for territories in Africa, they ended up in Berlin. That was organized by Otto von Bismarck. In Berlin, Germany, they shared Africa within themselves. So with this union, the company's union, Tamagoda and some of his friends approached the British for permission. Now, one of the points they presented to the British was that the French and the German were as well interested in taking over these territories, the territory that later became Nigeria. With that in mind, the British gave them a charter, a kind of authority to control all the areas they secured treaties, put up political control and as well economic control. They gave them the power to equip the army, the power to build a justice system, the power to rule over the area. But there was a stipulation that I can call a mild stipulation. That was that the British told them to allow for free flow of business. Well, with this charter, which was given to this company, the National African Company changed its name to Royal Niger Company. With this change, they were given the authority to rule all the areas they signed treaty with. To make this possible, the Royal Niger Company, well, with this change and this institution, the first governor under the Royal Niger Company was Lord Abadari, while Tabangodai became the deputy governor. And this charter was given to them on the 10th of July 1886. That was after the Berlin Conference. Well, to establish themselves, the Royal Niger Company established political structures. They established a custom station at Akassa. They established their commercial headquarters was established at Brutu. Brutu and Akassa can be found in southern part of Nigeria. They as well established a military headquarters at Lokoja in the present-day Kogi state of Nigeria. And then as well, their political seat was established at Asaba, which is as well in the southern part of the present-day Nigeria. But something happened. They started acting against the instruction given to them by the British. Imagine a company, an economic induced company controlling the people. And they had their interests. They started working against any other trading activity. They created monopoly on trades of what we call a legitimate trade, on raw materials. Remember, as at that period, the British were struggling to stop the transatlantic slave trade, where the company was also told to go into the hinterland of Africa and work towards stopping transatlantic trade, which they played a role. And then encourage people to go into the sale of raw materials, which they started monopolizing. Now, this brought about some issues. Every other trader that was outside the area where the company controlled was treated as foreigner. And one of the places that people were already involved in business, but they were outside the control of the area of the company, was at Brass. In Brass was outside the control of the company, although the Brass area was as well under the control of the British, but not under the control of the Royal Niger Company. brass businessmen and women were treated as foreigners. Even other European countries, merchants like the German and the French were also treated as foreigners. But the treatment was more on the locals. Now let me show you some of the conditions that were detrimental to people doing business from outside the territory of the Royal Niger Company. They were made to pay unnecessary taxes, unnecessary payments. For instance, maybe for a businessman from Brass was made to pay £50 for business license in a year. And £50 at that time was a huge amount of money. He was as well made to pay £10 at each station he was supposed to carry out his trade, just like a marketplace established by the Europeans. He was as well made to pay £100 if he intends to deal on gin or spirits. He was as well made to pay £100. In addition to all these payments, traders from outside the territory of the Royal Niger Company were forced to as well pay duty, tariff duty or custom duty on all the products they are to trade on. This suffocated and frustrated businessmen, many those that were outside the territory of the Royal Niger Company. Even some that were within the territory of the Royal Niger Company that were locals. By locals, I mean people that were the original indigenous of the area that later became Nigeria, not the Europeans. Even them were also not treated fairly. The monopoly that the Royal Niger Company conducted was not too conducive. In most cases, the Royal Niger Company decided to buy off all the products of these foreigners, of these indigenous traders. The Royal Niger Company will determine how much the indigenous traders will sell their goods, and they too will determine how much they will sell their own finished products from Europe. This was a terrible business arrangement and a frustrating one. So to this development, the King of Brass, precisely in 1895, King Koko of Brass marched down to Akassa with about 1,000 soldiers and attacked the headquarters of the Royal Niger Company, destroying the headquarters. In that attack, some British citizens were killed. Well, King Koko and his men brought this point that their main attack was not against the British, but against the company. But unfortunately, the British didn't see it from that angle. The British supported the Royal Niger Company. By so doing, the British supplied 2 gunboats, made it available to the Royal Niger Company. The Royal Niger Company mobilized their soldiers using the 2 gunboats in a retaliatory action against Brass. In that retaliatory actions, the Brass territory suffered serious loss. 2 important ports in Brass, one at Nembe and the other one at Fishtown, were destroyed. Many lives and properties were lost in the Brass area. Well, the outcome of this development was that after the British came to the rescue of the Royal Niger Company, they actually analyzed the activities of the Royal Niger Company and observed the fact that the Royal Niger Company was acting against the instruction given to them. This led to serious scrutiny of the activities of the Royal Niger Company. Well, after all the analysis, the British decided to revoke the charter given to the Royal Niger Company, and the revocation was carried out on the 31st of December 1899. 31st of December 1899. With this revocation, the British decided to organize their own political structure using the indirect rule system. Please follow us up in YouTube. Subscribe to our channel in YouTube. The link will be here, and also click on the notification so that anytime we present any new content, you'll be one of the earliest persons to be notified. We as well appreciate some support in order to work towards getting logistics that will help us towards the presentation or the analysis and presentation of contents in African history. Thanks for being part of today's presentation.